Hello, I am at Route 2023 and with me I have Ms. Ioanna Papadopoulou from Athens International Airport. She's the Director, Communications and Marketing of Athens International Airport. How has been your experience all through?
First of all, let me thank you for this interview. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be talking with you.
Same here.
It has been a very good experience. Actually, we had lots of meetings with airlines, as we normally do in this world. Networking opportunities, a lot, and we discussed a lot about future developments for Athens International Airport and for the market of Athens overall. So far, Athens has been developing very well. Up to date, there is a plus 9% increase in passenger numbers compared to the pre-pandemic era. So our airlines have been developing very well. We have markets that are flourishing so far, like the US market, like the UK market, other Western European markets, Canada as well, Serbia, Switzerland, many other markets. They have not only have they reached the pre-pandemic levels, but they have surpassed the pre-pandemic levels in terms of capacity and passenger numbers. So we hope and wish that this positive outlook will continue in the months ahead, in the next year. We'll see, because as you know, we are in aviation. Aviation is very volatile. There are many factors that are influencing the sector, geopolitics, the macroeconomic situation, other factors as well. We just have to wait and see, but so far so good.
Okay, so that means you have had a great recovery after the pandemic years.
Exactly, up to now. We had a very good recovery since 2021. 2023 was the full year with no travel restrictions, because as you remember, in 2022, during the first 4.5 months, there were still travel restrictions due to COVID. So 2023 is the full year with no travel restrictions, and we are not talking only about recovery, we are talking about growth and development, because as mentioned before, not only have we reached the pre-pandemic levels, but we have surpassed them by 9%. Exactly.
So that is great. That is really great to know. So what are your focus markets? I mean, which markets do you want to focus on from the routes world this year?
Well, the main markets for us, it's obviously Western Europe. There is a big, dense network there from our big home-based carriers, Aegean and Sky Express. These are the two home-based carriers that we are having. US and Canada, they are markets that are flourishing. They are developing very fast and very well. But the strategic priorities that we are having now is India. This is one of the markets that we expect.
Very glad to know about it.
Yeah, and we hope that we will establish a direct connection either with Delhi or Mumbai, or hopefully both. We are trying, at least we are communicating with lots of Indian carriers about this development. We want to develop more Africa, the Africa network.
Yes.
We have Northern Africa is well served. We have Ethiopia, which is a major partner for us, but we would like to increase even more the African network. And one of our medium-term strategic priorities is Central and Latin America, where we don't have direct connections at this stage. And of course, US and Canada, we want to develop them even more.
At this moment, I mean, both in the travel as well as the aviation industry, there's a lot hue and cry about sustainability, and that is for obvious reasons.
Yes, of course.
So, what is your take on that?
Well, Athens International Airport has been instrumental in the airport carbon accreditation program since 2009. Actually, the airport was one of the pioneering airports that established the program, along with ACI Europe, the Airports Council International Europe. So we have been carbon neutral since 2016. And we are now having a program we had announced back in December 2019, before the pandemic, that we would like to be net zero carbon emissions with no offsets up to 2025. So while the aviation industry had announced that they would like to be net zero carbon emissions by 2050, we brought it 25 years forward. So we expect to do that with photovoltaic parks, with solar parks. We inaugurated the second solar park in April 2023. Now we produce 45% of our energy by solar power, so clean energy, clean sources of energy, and we expect to be 100% net zero carbon emissions with no offsets by 2025. This is a program that we call Route 2025, and we are very proud.
What about the long haul and short haul travel scenario?
Well, in our market, there is a long-haul network with the US, as mentioned before, with Canada. With Asia, we are connected with Singapore by Scoot. The Chinese market, now we are having a connection with China, Beijing, Athens. I think that soon we are going to have more operations from China as well, and as a matter of fact, what we see from the industry forecasts is the fact that the Chinese market will be back, as we call it, in 2024. Lots of Australians, because you know that we have a big Greek-Australian community, they are traveling via other destinations, there are no direct connections yet. But we want to increase more, to develop more our long-haul network.
How has been, the scenario, how has the scenario changed from the pre to the post-pandemic?
Well, what we have seen in the post-pandemic era in terms of travelers and the travelers' wants and needs, I think that they are mainly looking for experiences rather than acquiring goods. So what we have seen is the fact that before the pandemic, maybe people didn't prioritize travel that much. Now we have seen that they prioritize travel as an experience. So especially the younger generations, they prefer not to acquire goods, but to gather experiences. And this is very important. We have seen people traveling because they consider that this is something very essential to them. And also in the case of Athens, we have seen extending their length of stay. This is also something that we have seen in the post-pandemic era.
Nowadays we get to hear a lot about the SAF, means Sustainability Aviation Fuel.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion about it? How do you think, how important it is in the aviation industry, and what do you have any specific plan to, to stay in keeping with this very concept?
Well, so far we have been cooperating with Aegean. Aegean is our biggest home-based carrier. They account for almost 46% in terms of market share in the Athens market. So we have been cooperating with them in terms of sustainable aviation fuel. A few months ago we presented an initiative along with the OFC, which is the Olympic Fuel Company, in our airport, in order for them to be using sustainable aviation fuel. So we consider that yes, there is a big opportunity when it comes to SAF. Of course, production levels or other monetary issues, it's very expensive, so it depends on the percentage of the airlines of the airlines regarding SAF. But we consider that yes, definitely this is an opportunity within the overall framework of sustainability in aviation.
Yeah. What are your plans for the airport? In the next 5 years, where do you want to see Athens International Airport?
Well, I think that in aviation, as in politics, 1 week is a very long time.
Yes.
1 week, let alone 5 years. You cannot really say, because it's a very volatile environment. There are many things happening. Now we see a big geopolitical crisis going on. Who would have imagined, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks before? Nobody. So what we are trying to do is trying to be environmentally responsible, be sustainable, planning our operations in cooperation with our airlines, promoting Athens as a city break year-round destination, and we started to do that back in 2011 when we realized, because we remember that in 2011 we were in the middle of the dire Greek macroeconomic crisis, very difficult times for
Yes.
Athens. So we understood that we had to be all together to join our efforts in order to promote our city. And this is how we embarked on the destination marketing, let's say, project strategy. And we are part of the Destination Marketing and Management Organization in Athens. This is Athens and Partners, this is how it's called. We work together with all tourism and aviation stakeholders in order to promote Athens as a city break year-round destination. So this we will continue to do. As mentioned before, in aviation and politics, 1 week is a long
big
time,
thing.
let alone
Means,
5 years.
yeah,
So we will keep working hard, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
you
It
so
was
much.
lovely talking to you.